In a world of gimbals, drones, and robot arms, tripods have fallen way down the list of priorities for us creators. Yet, an established filmmaker will always tell you how important it is to have a good tripod. Well, I think I may have found the best one. In this video, I want to tell you why this tripod stands out from the rest, how it compares against other tripods, and what makes it special. The world of tripods is massive. They range all the way from the no-brand cheap ones on Amazon and Wish, all the way up to an all-corner system that will set you back for $20,000. So today we're going to look at where this new tripod from SCG fits in. We have all seen the new wave of tripod coming from companies that we know like SmallRig and Tilter, bringing us great value for money. What SCG are doing is competing with a higher level of tripod and bringing those features down to a more competitive price. I'm sure we have all seen this sort of thing happening in the world of cinema lenses. We are now seeing cinema lenses bring down features that was only available in lenses 10 times their price like 5 or 10 years ago. Well, I believe this new SCG tripod is built with the same great concept and idea in mind. Before we get into what makes this great, recently while checking my YouTube stats, I noticed that almost 90% of viewers who watch my videos are not subscribed. It would make me so happy if you could just hit that subscribe button. That way I can continue making more videos just like this one. Alright, now let's get talking about the tripod. Before I do any review, I just like to say that SCG did send me this tripod, but they get no input into the making of this video and they get to see it at the same time as you do. I've also been using an old SCG tripod since the start of this year and it has been fantastic. Most of my negative user feedback I did in my last review has been answered in this new model. Starting off with build quality. This is what really separates a cheap tripod from an expensive one. And I've got to say off the bat, SCG have knocked this out of the park. The build quality of this tripod is right up there with the higher end sackcloth tripods. Everything with this tripod is made from metal, unless you choose to go for the carbon fiber legs like the one I have here, and this reduces the overall weight of the tripod. More on that later. At the top here, you can see it takes a 77mm ball head, but this metal insert here screws out, allowing you to use 100mm ball heads when needed. Just to the side here, we have the first new feature of the Steadfast, and that is a rope handle with a rubber grip. This feels really great and will come in useful when carrying the tripod around with a camera mounted on it. Here I have the mid spreader version. This now comes with these new red metallic buttons that allow us to disconnect the spreader altogether. This is really important for a feature we will get to a bit later. If you are someone who's used to using a floor spreader for like studio work, that is an option that you can pick when purchasing your tripod. Moving down to the feet, which are these red circular discs made from metal. They have a rubber grip on the bottom for gripping certain surfaces and a big rubber handle on top. Pulling this handle lets you remove the foot altogether, revealing 2 spikes on either leg. Overall, the feet are really good and are some of the best I have ever used. Something that happens often with tripod feet is they get stuck pointing down, what I can only describe as like MJ feet. And these circular shaped discs work really well at preventing that and are really similar to the ones you find on a high-end sackcloth. Although that said, the ones on sackcloth tripods are plastic and these ones are fully metal. Another new feature with the Steadfast is this brand new leg locking mechanism. It is a fully metal construction and again is now in the bright red metallic paint. The whole system I have here came in a really nice carry bag that is just in line with what you would expect from a tripod at this price point. The combination I have is the brand new Steadfast legs mixed with the T8 fluid head. This comes in at a weight of 5.6 kg or around 12 pounds. It is difficult to get across how nice and smooth it is to use this tripod head. There is a counterbalance system that ranges from 2 kg all the way to 10 kg, and there is also a T6 head which is smaller and I've been told there is a bigger head on the way. It has 3 different levels of fluid drag across pan and also tilt, and it has 8 different levels for the counterbalance system. It also has the brightest illuminated level bubble that I've seen on a tripod head. It also uses standard Manfrotto tripod plates, which is a massive bonus for a tripod of this level, as when you get into certain other tripods, they can start using their own proprietary plates and stuff like that. And I know people who swear by them, but for me, I just don't really like them. They're a bit awkward, and once you lose one, they're a nightmare to replace. It has a double locking mechanism for the camera, one to load in from the top and one to slide in from the back. It also has 2 threads for keeping spare screws in either side, and what is really nice about the design across this whole system is anything that locks and unlocks is in this bright red metallic paint, and with such great build quality comes along great stability. You will feel super safe and secure with your expensive camera loaded on this thing. I've never had any issues when panning, tilting, or even carrying it, lifting it up, placing it down. This tripod makes you feel ultra safe. The combination I have with the brand new legs and the T8 head is rated for a payload of 12 kgs. Now this is totally fine for most camera rigs and setups, but if you do find yourself needing more, then the legs alone are rated for 20 kg and there is that new bigger head on the way. With the legs fully spread, you get a height of around 180 centimeters or 6 feet. But this does not include the height of the camera to the lens, and also you can bring the legs in, taking you to a max height of around 7 foot, what should cover you for even the most tallest people. The minimum height of this tripod may be my new favourite feature. Now, with the mid spreader attached, you can go down to around 80 centimeters at minimum height. This is pretty normal across the board for tripods. But if you remember earlier, we talked about those metallic red buttons what allow you to disconnect the mid spreader. Now this tripod is designed to be laid as flat as possible along the ground, taking you to a new minimum height of 30 centimeters. This is such a good feature and opens up so many new creative angles and ideas. And the most important thing, it is fast. You don't have to go getting a separate tripod or getting apple boxes and sandbags and putting some kind of dodgy rig together. One of my biggest negatives about the old SCG tripod I reviewed is that a lot of the new tripod manufacturers are copying Sackler and doing the one locking mechanism for all the different points in the legs. Now this did not stop me changing to the SCG tripod as I thought it was so good, but it was just one of the negatives I found. Well, now I can have the best of both worlds. We now have one lock mechanism on the SCG tripods. They have this really satisfying pressure as you close the latches, and it gives you real confidence that your camera is not going to go anywhere. I have tried to find and think of negatives for this new tripod system, but as I mentioned, most of my negatives from before have been answered. There was one little thing. I'm not a massive fan of the locks on the mid spreader. I've not had any issues, and I'm being a bit nitpicky, but I feel like they feel of a slight lesser quality than all the other locks on the tripod. And I guess the last one would be brand reputation and longevity. But I can now say that I have used my old SCG tripod across 50 plus projects with not one single issue. So they have my word of approval. For the new Steadfast HD legs and the T8 fluid head with counterbalance, you're looking at a price of $1,346 USD. This price is extremely competitive. To put that into perspective, if you wanted a similar Sackler tripod with the same features and payload, you'd be paying at least $3,000. And on top of that, they do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. And just because you made it this far into the video, I did ask them for a discount code that I'm going to put in the description below to get you an extra 10% off. And there is one last thing that you need to pair up with a tripod, and you can find it just here.